To access Blackboard, go to Grand Valley's homepage. Look for the Blackboard icon here and click on it. When you are logged in, you'll land here on what's known as the institution page. This menu here is known as Ultra-Based Navigation, and it's relatively new to Grand Valley, but you'll find it a very easy way to navigate through Blackboard and all your courses and organizations. On the institution page, you'll want to make a point to scroll through here. You'll find faculty staff announcements, maintenance notifications, and of course there are some helpful links and GVSU policies. You'll see your name here in the Ultra-Based Navigation. You click on it, this takes you to your profile page. You can point on the circle above where you can upload your image or avatar. You can add a pronunciation for your name. You can add your pronouns. You can add your nickname, any education level or website information you'd like to share. And most importantly, you can modify your push email and stream notifications so that you can control how you're notified and where or what you're notified of. Here in the activity stream, we'll provide a list of all activities in all the courses and organizations that you belong to. And you'll see it provides a date and time of when the last activity occurred. Click on courses to access your courses. Here at the top are known as the favorites. You can tell you have a favorite not only because it's up top under the heading, but over here on the left or on the right side, you can see the star. The star is filled in. That's because it's been marked as a favorite. If I wanted to make any of my other courses marked as favorite so that it appears at the top of the page, I simply would just have to click on the star. It fills in and then relocates to the top of the page in the favorites. This is handy if you get a long list of courses and you only want to be able to access the ones you're currently teaching, mark them as favorites and they'll move to the top of the page. And when you're done, you don't want to have that ready access to that particular course, simply click the star again and it repositions itself down below. The favorites are up here. Everything else down below is listed in alphabetical order. We are looking at a list view of the courses. You also have the option to look at course tiles, and you notice each course has its own individual image. If you point on the image, you get the little three dots, and if you click on it, it gives you the option to edit the course image, and you simply click on that, upload a new image, and you're all set. Notice when I clicked on that tile, the course opened up by creating this layer, and it placed this layer on top so that this is the environment we're working in. We can close that layer and go right back to where we were before, and then we can access any of our other courses. You can search your courses, you can filter. There's a lot of different ways to find what you're looking at. If you have, for example, a private sandbox, that would be marked as a private course. You can make that available here. It'll list courses you're taking, courses you're teaching, etc. So you have a variety of ways to navigate through your list of courses. Organizations are presented to you in the same manner. You have either a list of organizations, or you can look at the course card or organization cards of your organizations. Calendar is available to you. This is a bird's eye view of what's happening in your calendar. It can be any type of event for any of the courses or organizations you're involved with. For students, they would enjoy this if it had due dates set up in their courses. They could click on this due date option, and then their due dates would appear in this area for anything upcoming, so that it's a quick place to look to see what they have due. So do use the due dates in your courses when you're setting up assignments and assessments so that students have this quick bird's eye view of what's due in their courses. You can message your students, all of them, part of them, from this location. Simply choose the course you want to send a message. You click on it. It'll open up this message center inside the course. So then you click on Create Message. And notice the 2CC and BCC. So you click on the two and it'll list everybody that's enrolled in the course. You can either select all, or you can hold down the Control key or the Command key, depending on which computer you're using, and choose who should receive the message as a recipient, move them to the area. The same works for the carbon copy or the blind copy. You would type a subject line for your message, and this is where you would enter the message down below. Notice this content editor. You will see this content editor throughout a Blackboard course, whether you're creating a question for a test or you're writing a discussion board or you are creating content, a survey, whatever. This content editor will appear and it all works the same everywhere. And it has your standard formatting features, bold, italicized, etc. Simply point your mouse to find out what that feature is. A little window pops up telling you what it is. This is an important one. If you copy paste content in from a Word or Google or something and you don't like the formatting, you can simply clear all the formatting and then redo it within the content editor so that it kind of equalizes it. Sometimes it doesn't copy over very well and it doesn't make sense and you'll have different size fonts and so forth. So this is a way to clear out that formatting and reset it. Notice the circle here with the plus sign. If you click on that, this gives you some options for some additional tools. Google assignment, hypothesis, Panopto, etc. So you can add content right from there. And when you're all done writing your message, you would simply hit submit and then that message would get sent out to everyone. So we're going to click the X to close this layer and go back to our altar-based navigation. And here we can click on grades and it'll list the grades of things that you need to tend to in your course. And now, for example, you can see here, there's 7 missing, 1 out of 8. One's been ready to grade. Here's got 8 to grade, so forth. So you can do your grading right here from your altar-based navigation without having to go into the course. It provides a little bit of metrics here for you to tell you how students are doing. If your students click on grades, they're going to see assignments that have been graded, and they'll see their scores. So it's a kind of a nice place, one-stop shop again, to see grades or for you to do your grading. There's some tools listed here, and since this is a relatively new feature for us, the altar-based navigation, the tools will grow here as time goes on, so just check back regularly to see what tools are available to you. And of course, you can just sign out from here. When you're ready to go into your course, click on the course to enter it. And by default, when you log into a Blackboard course, you're going to land at the announcements page. That's the default entry page to any course. And we see the menu over here on the left. This top part of the menu, this is what your students see down here where it says course management. These are additional menus for you for additional access to tools and so forth. You can create an announcement by simply clicking create announcements. And here again, you see the content editor. Announcements allows you the option to date restrict whether when it's going to be available. Announcements appear in Blackboard kind of like a message board. The most recent one goes to the top, and then the older ones keep dropping down farther and farther down the list. So you can date restrict it, and it'll display at a certain date and time. You can make the option to send a copy of that announcement to your students right away if you choose to do that too, so they'll receive it in email. You also can link to a particular portion of the course. Maybe you want to send them an announcement about a particular assignment. You can add a course link right to that assignment. It'll build it into the announcement and it'll send it off to the students. So lots of flexibility in sending announcements. In your menu, your course menu may look different because you may have, or maybe teaching a course that has a particular template or it's loaded with content that's been provided to you already. So this may look differently in your course, but it's going to function the same. You have the option to add content area to this menu. If you want to add a new content area, perhaps you want to add a tool link or a web link, you would just simply click on the tool link. For example, you would give it a name and then you're going to choose the type of tool that it is. Maybe you're adding a Zoom meeting link and you just choose Zoom meeting link. You want to make sure you check the box that it's available to users so that your students can see it. And when you're all set, you would hit submit and it's done. If you look at the content, you'll see we have a sample folder in here. If you point on the build content, you'll see all the options of things you can create. You can just create a file where you will type in content into it. You might want to just simply attach a file. You want to upload a PowerPoint, for example, you would use this option. And then you can see content folder, audio, video, etc. There are several things to choose from. If you point on the assessments, it'll give you the option to add a test, survey, assignment, or Panopto quiz. Tools, again, it's going to list all the tools that are available, and if you click on more tools, it'll provide even more. And then partner content, most faculty don't use that, so check it out if you think you need it or will be using it, and you can learn more then. It's nice to have your assignments in a separate location in your course so students can easily find them. And as you notice here, there's one with a file attached to it. If a student clicks on it, they'll get the due date. They can download the file that's been attached where it'll provide the instructions for them. They can submit their assignment by writing a submission, or they can upload a file to the course or to the assignment. They can add a comment when they submit their file. And then they can submit it down here. Notice there's a save draft option. Sometimes students accidentally hit save draft when they're trying to submit it for grading. And you'll know that they did save draft instead of submit, because within the Grade Center, there'll be a little blue circle that shows that the assignment is in progress, and you won't be able to do anything until they submit it. So if it's after the due date of the assignment and you still see that blue circle in the Grade Center, reach out to that student and advise them to submit the assignment, because you can't access it yet because they've only saved it. They haven't submitted it. Down here where the tools menu is, students have access to this tool, and it's again, all the tools that are available in the course. An important one for you to remember is your roster is here. This roster here, it links up to Banner, and it keeps you updated throughout the day of the students who are in your course. So if a student drops from the course at some time during the day, that roster will be updated after it links to Banner, and you'll know if that student is still enrolled in the course. They'll be dropped from the roster. And Zoom meetings, you can add Zoom meetings here, Panopto, etc. So this is the tools menu. Down here in your course management menu, if you click on the course tools to expand it, you'll see all those tools we looked at before. They're all listed down here. If you wanted to add a discussion, you could do it right from here. There's also a discussions link up here in the menu. Discussion boards, we have a separate webinar where we go into detail on how to utilize the discussion board. But if you're familiar with them and you like to use them, you would simply create a forum, and then you would add threads to that forum. You subscribe to a thread if it's something that you want to be notified whenever a post is made to it, so that you stay up to date on it, so you can provide a timely response. Subscribe to those threads. You don't want to do this for a weekly discussion where lots of students are going to be posting, because you'll get inundated with notifications. But if it's a thread about a particular type of assignment where students should be asking questions, subscribing to it will allow you to receive notification that a question has been asked and you need to answer it right away. So down here again, course tools. You'll notice test surveys and polls are here. Wikis, there's everything. It's all listed here for your convenience. The Grade Center is down here in the course management menu. You can simply click on the button to load up the Grade Center. We do a separate training session on how to utilize the Grade Center. There's a lot to, it's not complicated. It takes a little getting used to. However, if you played around with it and you're pretty good at learning things, I think you would find it to be easy enough to use. And then user and groups are down here. If you wanted to create groups, you would do that from this location. And here you'll see users. Users are not just the students who are enrolled in your course. It's anybody who is enrolled in your course. And that could be a teaching assistant, or you might have a faculty mentor that's enrolled in your course, or another faculty where you're allowing that person to share resources or download your resources. Anybody that's enrolled in the course will be shown here under users. Down here where it says packages and utilities, that's where you can do a course copy. And probably the most important thing to know is here in customization. When you get your course shell, it's not available to students. So what you need to do is come down to customization, click on properties, and then scroll down about halfway down the page. By default, that's going to say no, it's not available. You're going to need to click yes, and then hit the submit button in order to make your course available to students. If the term has started, the semester, and a student reaches out to you, hey, I can't get into the course, this is the place you'd want to go to make sure you've made your course available. Odds are this is what the problem is. So it's just a quick fix, and it takes effect immediately. So the minute you hit submit, that course becomes available and your students can see it. If you have any questions on how to use anything in Blackboard, our recommendation is that you go to the service portal. Services at gvsu.edu. If you come here, you'll have to log in. But if you want a consultation with an instructional designer to learn more about Blackboard, to learn something about your course, how to set it up, how to effectively utilize it, you can click on Get Started, go to eLearning Technologies, and then here where it says eLearning Technologies Consultation Request, click on that. It gives you a brief description of what will happen here. But what you'll do is click on the Submit a Ticket button. And because I'm logged into the service portal, it populates my name, the department I'm with. And it'll do the same for you once you log in. And so then you'll want to provide a brief description, indicate the college you're with, on the program, and then a description of what you need help with. Fill in the form as best you can, hit the request button, and then within 24 hours, somebody will get back to you to work out making arrangements to assist you with whatever your request was. So it's pretty simple to do, and you'll get an email notification when you submit the ticket. You'll get an email notification when somebody replies to the ticket, and so pretty intuitive system, easy to use. There's also a knowledge base article where there's lots of articles on how to do various things. You can just go to eLearning Technologies and then to Blackboard. And then you can see there are several categories on how to do various things. So you can always scroll through here. You might find a knowledge base article that will answer your question. You won't have to create or request a consultation. So that's Blackboard in a nutshell. It's pretty easy to use. Follow up anytime with the eLearning Technologies team if you have questions or need assistance. Thank you.